Guys, I am tired this morning. I did not sleep very well, but that's okay. The videos must continue. I skipped yesterday. I had a node release. I'll give you the 30-second thing. I run a Solana RPC node business as like a little side project where people can pay for access to a private Solana node for trading and stuff like that. And yesterday was the very long awaited update day where I had to basically go through and update a bunch of software versions and stuff. It is a half day process. So the time in which I would normally be filming was taken up by that. Things went well, which is good. So back to it today. And it's been, like a day, basically 2 days, I guess, since I worked on this project. And I'm like already starting to forget what I was working on. And I also don't necessarily want every single day that I work on videos to be focused on like one thing. I think part of what would make these videos more interesting would be, well, sure, if I am working on something for an extended period of time, it would be cool to see it kind of progress, right? From like day 3 to day 30. There's obviously something really cool about that, but there is all sorts of stuff to build. And so I will just preface, although we will probably be building, we will most certainly be building this link tree for YouTube idea that I've been working on the last couple days, at least for the time being. Doesn't necessarily mean that we will always be working on that. We'll probably mix things up a little bit and do all kinds of cool stuff. There's a lot of things out there to build. There's a lot of different things to learn, definitely. The reason that I find this project that I've been working on, and just to recap for people who may be watching for this for the first time, this is like day 5, day 6 of the summer builds. The idea is basically that you will plug in like a YouTube channel ID and an API key, which is the part that kind of sucks because we're going to probably go into that today of how to get that and how to use the API because we didn't get to do it the previous day. But the idea is you'll plug in those things and you'll basically get a static, or at least like a front-end application built with Remix that renders out all of your video. Your pinned videos, maybe you have like one that you want to showcase, you have like a course or something. And it is scratching my own itch, definitely, because I'm going to use this to replace the current website for this channel. So we'll see that hopefully here sometime this week, if we can get something working. So what else do I want to talk about before we hop over and do some programming? Yeah. Well, the reason that I bring any of this up, this high level kind of stuff, instead of just like writing some code, is the reason I'm building this right now is that, and I think the reason for building anything really, there's like two or three reasons basically. Like one, you want to make money off of it, or it's your job. Like that's a great reason. Money is nice. We all need it. The second reason is that it is teaching you something that you don't already know. And I think being able to identify what stuff you don't currently know and working on that with a very particularly targeted project is very valuable. So in this case, I had a understanding of what was called, at least it used to be called, like a Jamstack site a couple years ago. I feel like that term is not really as in use anymore, but the idea was basically like a static JavaScript application, or at least like a JavaScript application of some kind that has like routing and stuff like that. I guess it's just a server rendered application. People don't really do those static builds anymore now that there are server rendered React applications. But that whole side of React is something I don't really know that much about, besides the very basics of like how do you render stuff, right? Like obviously I know that because I know React, but how do I actually build like server rendered routes? And then like, can I kind of bring them into the client side and make sure they still work and stuff like that? So this project is a reason to learn that and to learn Remix so that when I tackle it at a day job or like for a bigger side project, I actually know what I'm doing. So it's like small scale learning the stuff that I need to learn. So that I think is a very important and underrated reason to do side projects and to just hack on shit. Because I think that people underestimate how much you can learn from something, even just like this project, right? Like I am learning a decent amount about how to do server rendering and how to understand Remix and routing and stuff like that. So really important to, every 6 months or so, just like take a look at what have you been, as a developer, what have you been working on? What stuff do you feel like you probably should know but don't? I think that that's one crazy thing about software development that makes it, for better or worse, like, if you're a welder or something, I don't know, whatever, right? Like you're do some trade or something, like, you maybe need to learn some new thing. The barrier to entry to doing that, like, okay, let's say, I don't know, another example, you're like a carpenter or something, right? Like you certainly can go and build stuff, right? Like you just have to go spend like hundreds of dollars at Home Depot and a bunch of shit like that. So with programming, it is like I just sit down on my computer and just like have to figure out a new library or like whatever. The barrier to entry is time. And I think that that's why you need to do these things every once in a while where you kind of just take stock of where you're at. And like a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago at this point, for me, this was like AI, right? Like people were talking about GPT. It seemed really awesome. And, it certainly is really cool. I'm like, well, a year or two from now, this is like probably all I'm going to be doing. So what do I need to learn? So I went and checked out the OpenAI SDK, had to learn how like streaming stuff works and all kinds of stuff like that, like streaming chat responses. And so you need to take that time to be like, what don't I know? Maybe you don't need to, right? Like maybe you're just like, nah, I'm good with what I'm doing, which is awesome, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is like a chill way to approach it. If you're in the middle of your career and you're like, you need to kind of stay sharp and stuff, you may need to be a little bit more like active about it, I guess, right? So plan today is to do some YouTube API integration stuff. We have kind of exhausted, based on the previous video, I think everything that we realistically can in terms of design right now. There are some cool things that I think we'll be able to do, that I have planned for once we get sort of past this hurdle. But the sort of roadmap right now is the YouTube API, which will probably take up the rest of this video. And the next couple days we'll work on like static deployment, configuration, open sourcing it, bunch of other stuff. So yeah, we'll go jump into it. I got a new monitor, the Apple Studio display, not the crazy fucking $5,000 one or whatever, like the normal person one, because who knows if they're going to update this in like a year, and I'm going to feel like a complete idiot for if I would have bought the $5,000 one or whatever, right? So new monitor, I'm going to make sure that I got all my recording settings right, because I think it's a different, it's not a different resolution or aspect ratio. So work on that, kind of mess around with that today, and yeah, as always, the open source code for this, the project is already open source, but it's just not in a place where you can really do much with it unless you're me, or you just want to kind of fuck around with it locally. So, yeah, let's jump into it. I've been talking enough. Boy, I'm super tired, but apparently very talkative today. So get my desk all situated here and we'll jump into some code. So where we left this yesterday was that, let me open this back up. We had rendered all of this content, right? So this pinned video, which was just statically we just statically put it in the JSON. We're going to lose that when we get the actual YouTube API because that's like not a real concept that is represented in the data, which is fine. I just wanted to kind of have that implemented so that when we come back to a way of doing that ourselves, we are, well positioned to do that, right? I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that yet. It might be like a config file that says like, here's the video IDs that I want to pin. I'm not 100% sure yet, but basically we have, pinned video and then these other videos, which are like your other ones on your channel. Now, okay, after logging in with Google to the right account and everything, basically what we want to do is very simple. We just want a YouTube API key. I don't know why this is so hard. I kind of got halfway through here. Yeah, I think we're close. So I made a new project in Google Cloud called YouTube Landing. By the way, what's the word I'm looking for? Project name recommendations, greatly appreciated. I'm tired of calling this like YouTube Lister, YouTube Landing, whatever. I'm going to need to do like a little bit of thinking about how to name the project, but if you have any ideas in the comments, definitely let me know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. I'm going to type YouTube. We just need to enable the API, which is this data API for this project. Okay, sounds good. And then the part that I don't really know how we're going to do, but I know that we need to do it, is this. So create credentials, user data. I mean, honestly, we might be able just to use public data because it's a public YouTube channel. I don't want to create an OAuth client. Let's see. I'm going to make an executive decision that might waste 20 minutes, but it would be great. Here is my API key. I will obviously roll this prior to releasing the video, but we will use it as an example for now. And what I'll do is I'll open up an end key here and I'll say YouTube API key. I just wanted to wrap this in quotes. There we go. Okay, so that's that. I will roll that, and I need to remember to roll that later on. So my question is two things. One, how do I provide that API key as an environment variable? They're really showing me Python code in the JavaScript example. That's funny. I'm sure I could just pass it like manually, obviously, probably like right here. Auth. I just want to make sure I do it correctly. No, here we go. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Been replaced with Google Identity Services. What? I'm always running into this stuff, I swear, with Google. Again, we get to the point of the video where I still have not set up. I still haven't set up intelligence in Vim in regards to like actually configuring in Vim the like IntelliSense and stuff like that. So I have to open up VS Code and figure it out here myself, I guess. So we've imported Google. It has one overload, which is what? No, can't see. We know the version is V3. I don't even understand how I got to the point of having this line of code, but I can't find it anywhere. Right? Like this is the, okay, there we go. Jeez, thanks Stack Overflow. It's insane. Okay, so I guess this needs to be version, what do they call it? Auth. It's just a string. I don't know if I can use process env here. Probably not, because this is a YouTube API key. I mean, we'll see, but I don't think that it really works like that. I have this code from a while ago. It does seem like it loads, which is interesting. Wow, no shit, it just works. Huh. Well, great. Hey, that's okay. I'll take it. So this is response. Let's just say that it's called API response. Let's see what happens. Maybe we just swap it over. Oh, I was like, really? No. There we go. Yeah. Now it's gonna get fucked up. Hilarious. Okay, let's see what, again, is API response. It is a object with config data items. So it's actually going to be, it might even be typed. Probably it's just, this is a skill issue. It's probably possibly undefined. So let's say API response data items. We'll call this items, and we'll say return JSON videos if items. Yeah. Now this typing is probably jacked as well. We did it. Yes, dynamic data. Thumbs up. We did it. And now we just need to do we're gonna need to do pagination, which is gonna be a fucking pain in the ass, but params, options. Yeah, so we need to set it up to return more videos. What page was I on? It was on this one. It was max results, which should be 50. Oops. Localhost 51. Look at that. Hey, you know what? That was not actually too bad. Why don't I maim the mic on the way? Is this still? Yeah, we're good. That actually was not too bad. It's a good thing I had this set up here. So for good measure, let's take this, and I might be getting it a little bit too big for my britches here, because I think I can put that channel ID in here as well and make it programmatic. That's obviously not going to work. This is going to be process.env.youtube channel ID. I don't know if you can access process.env in the loader. It seems like you can, because it's server side, right? So you certainly should be able to. Let me just do a full restart here. Yeah, no shit, it just worked. That's awesome. Okay, well, cool. That's great. So now what? Holy smokes. Guys, we got here really quickly. Should I just take the win and move on for the day, since I talked a lot at the beginning of the video, or should I keep hacking? Let's keep hacking a little bit, and maybe we'll get something kind of cool here. So I want to do a, let's do a config file. Let's do config.js, because I just like having JavaScript. Now, this is hard coded right now, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say config title. Let's parameterize those while we're here. Let's do that. Let's do channel username, which is, I think, just 7.dev. That link actually doesn't even do anything right now. 7.dev. And then let's say pinned videos is going to be a array of channel IDs. Let's do this one. Old video. Look at that hair. Mistake. Hey, we all make bad decisions sometimes. Let's see this one. This one's more recent. Nope, that's a short. Why did I do effing shorts? Story of my life. That's the only okay, well, I guess we're doing this one. So I'm going to grab this ID here, and I'm going to do this pinned video. And so the plan here is, if we pull in, let's say import And I can also get rid of example data, which is awesome. So if we import config from config, then we can do the following. First, we can replace this. It's driving me crazy. Config title, config description. And where's my oh, this is the video. So this will be config title. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I love that this is how much this is shortening this. Config.description. Now this is a button that does absolutely nothing, which is funny. So href, and this will be youtube.com/config channel username. Now it's a real link, and we'll make this a target blank for now. It'd be cool to be able to configure all of that. This is probably missing a @sign. No. What is it? youtube.com/7.dev? What did I do wrong here? youtube.com/7.dev. Config channel username. Whoops. Channel username 7.dev. Refresh. I think it just hadn't refreshed yet. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, instead of going pinned through here, we're going to say videos.filter video config.pinned videos includes, I think, video dot, what is it? Is it ID? It's something like that. It's going to crap its pants on me. I kind of wish I had. Well, I can console log. I can console log videos here, and then it's definitely not going to like that. Videos. One thing I still understand is, like, I would think this would be logged out on the console, but I guess it's not. I guess it's still on the server, which I don't quite understand. So video.id.videoid. Oh, I was actually right about that. So let's make that a little safer. It's not really safe because it's literally, this is like really shitty error handling. It doesn't appear to have picked that up though. Why is that? ID. Let's do pinned. I'm going to guess this will be an empty array. Yeah. Config pinned videos includes console log video ID. Am I just calling it the wrong thing? Yeah. Oh my god. It's not under. It's this. There we go. Cool. And now, just for fun, let's take another one here. Let's do a full circle. Let's do one of these previous videos and not grab the video ID because I am doing stuff too quickly. Config. And you know what? This is JavaScript, so we can actually do stuff like this. GitHub Actions. This is like not a JSON, so I can do comments. Good summer build vid. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that. Very cool. Now the one last thing we'll do for good measure is YouTube sub confirmation URL, which is just a parameter called sub confirmation equals 1. Oh, channel. Well, I have my channel ID, do I not? Yeah. Honestly, I should take this out of here and I should put it in here. And let's just stop using the channel. Well, it might be nice to have the channel username or just for like user facing stuff. This will be config.channel ID. Oops. Yep. Okay. And now, I accidentally just closed that. So now this URL will be, I should really take this icon out. This is such a fucking pain in the ass to read. So this will be channel, config.channel ID with a parameter of sub confirmation equals 1. And now, yeah, very cool. Yeah, so then you'll get the prompt to subscribe. I'm not signed in right now, so sick. Okay, this is pretty good progress. We're at about 20 minutes of coding, though like maybe 4 minutes of that was me goofing off. So let's do a quick little push. Now, I tweeted this. Colorblind maybe or something. I'm looking for like black background because I really like this monitor. Has it's super like deep colors. By the way, I'm colorblind as fuck, so like, well, I don't even know what that means. It has deep colors. I literally can't even see like half the fucking colors, so whatever, but it looks good to me, so whatever, right? But I wanted to show off this like goofy set of aliases I have, which are the like spray and pray git aliases, where you can just commit whatever it is you've done and pushed it. This is like, I'm working on this project myself. I don't care what the commit messages say. So G is your git add everything and commit, and GP is do that and push. Now, I do want to make sure I don't commit any super bad stuff. .env is already in git ignore probably for remix project. Config.js will be like the default config. For now, I'm gonna just copy this into like an example file, or let's do config dot. Let me show you two. You know what? I went down a big rabbit hole. I'm gonna show you two awesome things that I think everyone should know. The first is this awesome move shortcut. Let me set the stage. Let me clear everything here a little bit. So I have this config file, config.js.example. I want to update that to config.example.js. What I can do is say move.config.jsexample. This is the first parameter to the move command, right? Now, what I could do is config.example.js. I can say move from this first parameter, which is the current file name, to the second parameter, which is the new file name. This is a rename, essentially, right? But what I can do instead is use the curly braces here, and I can set two parameters inside of this. So I can say first, and I don't know what the bash term is for this, by the way. I just saw someone do this at a conference probably like 10 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, that is awesome. So I think they're called parameters. I really don't know. I just know it's cool. js.example, this is my first parameter here, comma, example.js. So this may even match multiple files too. I'm not 100% sure, but in our case, we have config.jsexample, and it's saying swap this particular part of the file name, js.example, to example.js. I run this again, you can see that it got renamed. So that is a very handy, I use that all the time. This is like, you know, you make a file and it's called like foo. Let's say it's called foo.eex. For some reason, you're making an exe file, right? Really quickly, move the exe, and it's renamed. You know, you try and run an exe file on a Mac. So that's a handy little trick. I like that. I use it a lot. Back to it. Config. Remove foo.exe from my for my configuration. Config.example.js is my example. So anyway, back to my aliases. I'm getting sidetracked. This is how I can use G to get add and get commit based on a timestamp, GP to push that. So I just run it there. It pushes, commits, does all the things. This is my spray and pray git alias that I use all the time. Don't use this on your team. Use this for your side projects when you do not give a shit what your commit messages are. Because you can always go back and change them. You can change anything in Git if you really needed to. Or you could just squash everything into one commit that has a commit message. Yeah, so welcome to the Bad Tips with Christian Corner. Cool, so we pushed this. Now for good measure, let's take a little look-see-loo at what we built. We did pinned videos. We are actually loading stuff from the API. And we're eventually going to have to cache this or something, right? Because doing this every time on page load, we'll probably get rate limited. So we'll probably add workers KV or something like that a little later. All right, let me get off the computer here and we'll wrap things up. Okay, so pretty productive day, all things considered. We managed to get the YouTube API working really quickly, which is great. And we even got to do our config file and stuff like that. We are getting quite close to getting a build out into the world, which is very exciting. So what I will do tomorrow is, and it's going to be an early morning record because I got to go out and do some stuff later on in the day. So I almost wonder if I should just do another recording tonight. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to add KV caching so that we do not slam the YouTube API and get rate limited by anyone who comes to your website, because that would suck. We will add just the tiniest README that explains how you can do this yourself, and then we will actually deploy it to the 7dev website. And we will have accomplished our goal of a MVP for the YouTube lister. And maybe we will move on, or maybe we won't, to other projects. Time will tell. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. I sure am enjoying making these videos and just kind of puttering around in my little world of building side projects and things like that. If you enjoy it, leave a comment. If you think this shit sucks, I don't know, leave a comment. I don't really care. It doesn't faze me. Bring your worst. It doesn't faze me. Yeah, all right. Time to edit this whole thing together. Try and get it up this morning. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.